Do you want more torque and horsepower out of your BMW? Well, in today's video, I'll be showing you the 3-stage intake manifold that I have installed on my BMW 328i, and I'll be telling you exactly what you can expect if you install it on yours. So let's go ahead and get straight into the video. I've had the 3-stage intake manifold installed on my BMW E92 for about a couple weeks now, and overall, it's been a great experience. I had one issue pop up where the crankshaft positioning sensor underneath accidentally got unplugged while this new intake manifold was being installed, but I simply replaced the sensor, plugged it back up, and I was all good to go. But I'm having no vacuum leaks, nothing like that, and overall the quality of this thing is benign. It came with all new hardware, new intake manifold gaskets. It even came with the throttle body gasket. It came with the DISA valves, which you can actually see right there in the bottom. And it was a super easy installation. I bought new screws for the DISA valve and I bought new hardware, things like that. But overall, it was plug and play. And now I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I did not install this intake manifold myself. Luckily, I have a buddy who works at BMW as a master tech, and he charged me way less than what BMW would charge to install this upgrade because I simply just did not have time. But the installation for this 3-stage manifold is the exact same as a regular intake manifold. It plugs up and installs the same exact way. I had to remove my strut brace, you remove all the little covers and things like that. But installation is actually pretty straightforward. You just remove this entire cowling here, and that gives you access to go ahead and remove the 10mm nuts and bolts that go all the way back. I think there's 6 in total. And then from there, you're gonna free up all the different hoses that connect to this thing. You pull the intake manifold out, put the new one in. And now a really great design choice from BMW is they actually included the wiring for the DISA valves on all of these E92s. That means all of you BMW 328i owners out there, you still have the wiring to plug up the DISA valves from the factory, even though you don't have the 3-stage manifold itself. And so you can actually see the cables right here. And on the regular intake manifold for the 328i, they're simply clipped on to the side plate of the manifold itself, and then you simply pull it up and you can plug it straight in to the DISA valves once you do this conversion. And now something to clarify is once you're plugging up the DISA valves, you're gonna have 2 cables. So you have 2 DISA valves. Again, remember, one on the top here, and then if you go down to the bottom, you're gonna have one more DISA valve tucked in right here. And now you're gonna have a longer and shorter cable. You wanna route the long cable to the top DISA valve, not the bottom one. And then you wanna route the shorter cable, see the shorter one here, is gonna come to the DISA valve that's tucked underneath the intake manifold. And now if you look down low enough, you can see this hose on the left-hand side. That is your crankcase ventilation hose, so you can see it as well if you come up to the top right there on the left side. I decided to buy a new one of those because I did not want to transfer over my old one. And now ECS Tuning and Bovado made it extremely simple to install this 3-stage intake manifold to any BMW 328i owner. And the reason being is because the crankcase ventilation hose can be simply transferred straight over. When I was on Reddit, I saw a ton of concerns and questions about, hey, how do I transfer over my crankcase hose if my intake manifold has 2 ports or 1 port or a CCV or etc, etc, etc? Well, I will let you know, all you have to do is transfer over this part here. I'll pop up a picture. It's a little heater portion for your intake manifold. You simply transfer that part over and you can plug up any generic BMW 328i crankcase ventilation hose. So that means any E92 owner out there or E90 owner can simply do this upgrade without some crazy retrofitting. And I don't know how much y'all can see the hose down there, but it traces all the way back to the back side of your valve cover. And I'm popping my phone down in here, but that is the CCV hose. And what I can actually show you from here is you have 2 ports that it inserts into. And this is that heater part I was telling you have to transfer over from your old intake manifold. So you have to pull it off of the old one onto the new one, and that's what's gonna allow this second part of the hose to simply sit on that intake manifold. Now I have a port where I can install that hose, and then the other part of the hose simply installs straight into the intake manifold itself. And then you can see it routes all the way back. Now if I bring the camera up, you can actually see that it routes to the back of the valve cover right there. And the reason I'm telling you all this extra information is because when I installed this intake manifold, I had a lot of questions on if it would be compatible and an easy retrofit. And just to let y'all know, to confirm with you, it was so freaking easy, because all you do is transfer over that little heater part that I showed you. You plug up your brand new crankcase hose or transfer over your old one, and then the new intake manifold plugs in the same exact way that the old one did. The only difference is you plug up the DISA valves. And so if you're telling me I can get 30 to 40 horsepower with a tune off that simple of an upgrade, especially if your old intake manifold's already faulty or leaking, then this is a no-brainer. I will say the install and everything of that nature was so simple. Now I can get into the power and the performance of this thing a little bit more. And so like I told you guys, right now I don't have the tune, and that's why I'm dropping this video. I'm dropping this video specifically to let you know, if you want to do this upgrade and you're curious how this thing feels even without a tune, well, you know, now you know. And I will say I have gotten power gains for sure. I can feel the difference. I've owned this car for 5 years. I can tell even if the simplest of little upgrades are doing something, positive or negative. And I can personally feel that the rev band feels smoother and the car gets up to power a lot quicker. That might be because my old intake manifold was faulty or leaking or something of the nature. It might be, but I don't think so. Especially with the throttle commander that I have installed, the little throttle tune, the chip. I'm telling you, there is a difference. I don't know how big of a difference. I would say I feel like 8 to 9 horsepower difference if I could put it into words, but it feels better. But I feel like rather than telling you, I should show you. So let's go ahead and take the car out on a little drive, and yeah, I'll give you some real feedback on how it feels. I feel like my E92 accelerates so much better now. So when you're going from first to second gear, especially with my throttle tune, it feels like I barely have to put any pressure on the gas and the car gets up and goes. Especially second gear really pulls. I don't know if it's a placebo effect or what, but I feel like the engine revs higher. Like when the car's on the highway, the revs and horsepower feel more opened up. I think the best way I can describe it is the car feels healthier. I don't know if that's faster. I don't know if that's more torque or power. The car just feels like it's breathing a lot more and able to go a lot more. I feel like the best thing I could equate it to is like a runner being able to catch their breath while they're running. And when I push down on the gas, I'm able to overtake people. And the engine, like I said, it just feels like it's revving higher, breathing healthier. Maybe my old manifold was messed up, but it feels good. I'll cut to the gas pedal really quick and show you that I'm not putting a lot of pressure on the gas, and the car really is pulling. Well, I just got back to my place, and I think it's definitely safe to say the car feels a lot healthier with this new intake manifold. Maybe my old one was bad, or maybe this thing is just so good. Whatever the difference, even without a tune, the car feels healthier. And even if it doesn't feel healthier in your situation, it'll feel the exact same without a tune. Once you get a tune, it'll really wake this thing up and you'll get that 30 to 40 horsepower as promised. But again, I'm not doing that till I drive this car all the way back to Texas, because that's where my tune guy is. And yeah, this video is just to let you know that even if you install this intake manifold without a tune, you're not doing the wrong thing. It's definitely worth it. Overall, the 3-stage intake manifold upgrade brings a sizable amount of power and torque to your BMW's engine. Whether it's day-to-day driving or I actually want to mash down on my throttle, I can feel the power difference like day and night. And I can't imagine when I get back home and actually get a full tune done, like I'm extremely hyped to feel the difference there, because I know it's going to be even more of a day and night difference. For a plug-and-play upgrade that's only $600, it has been a breeze. The car has felt perfectly normal ever since I installed it, And I would highly recommend each and every one of you BMW 328i owners out there install this 3-stage manifold, and make sure you hit that notification bell, because when I get back to Texas, I'll be getting the tune. I really wanted to tell you guys what you can expect without the tune. So if you just install the manifold and you don't get the tune, because that's a very common question, I wanted to run down exactly what you can expect. And overall, it's been a thumbs up from me. So thank each and every one of you for the support. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace out.